Hello everyone, welcome once again to my class. This is part 6 of Evans Streisand O-Level. So Evans was giving his O-Level German examination, and while giving the examination, after a while he asked McClary to give him permission to cover himself with a blanket, as he said that he was feeling a bit cold. Now, as you know, Stephens, the senior police officer, he was guarding him. He was sitting just outside the cell, and at an alternate of every 1 minute, he was looking through the peephole and observing Evans' activities. Okay, what Evans was doing. So at 10:51 a.m., okay, at 10:51 a.m., the exam was supposed to conclude at 11:25. Okay, the exam was supposed to conclude, and Stephens saw that at 10:51, when he looked through the peephole, he was very surprised to see that Evans had put a blanket over his shoulder. He had covered himself with a blanket. Now, Stephens at first thought that is it something fishy? Should he inform Jackson, his senior police officer under whom he was working? Should he inform him? Because Jackson had told him that if he finds any sort of fishy things over there, then he should immediately inform him. So Stephens at first thought that he should inform. Then he thought that maybe that the cell of Evans was indeed very cold, and it was very obvious that because it never received sunlight. Okay, the cell where Evans was staying, it never received sunlight, the walls also, and maybe Evans was genuinely feeling cold, and that's the reason why he was covering himself with a blanket. So he thought to continue with his duty and not to not to inform Jackson about it. All right, he continued with his duty. He did not inform anyone. At 11:20 a.m., the receiver, that means the receiver which was at the governor's office, once more started. It started working. Governor was receiving some sounds. Okay, and what was the conversation that the governor heard? It was this, that McClary was informing Evans that at 11:25, the exam had started at 9:25. Remember, it was a 2 hours examination. That the examination will conclude at 11:25, and Evans should get his papers ready, arrange everything to submit. At 11:22, now I have told you before also that several places in this story you will find time has been mentioned. Why? Because time plays a very vital role in this story. Alright, so at 11:22, Jackson received another phone call, and the phone call was from the governor. What was told to Jackson? That the governor wanted to speak with Stephens. Okay, at 11:22, remember. At 11:25, the exam was going to be concluded. At 11:22, there was a phone call from the governor asking Jackson to call Stephens. So when Stephens left the place, for these 3 minutes, 22 to 25, till he returned, the outside the cell, no one was there to keep an eye on Evans and McClary, who were present inside the cell. Okay, so Stephens went to receive the phone call, and he was informed, he was instructed rather, by the governor that he should accompany McClary to the main gate and see to it that Evans remains there inside the cell and he should ensure everything. And once the exam gets over, once McLeary leaves the campus, the governor should be informed about it. Alright, so this was the instruction given to Stephens. Now Stephens was the junior police officer. So Stephens was feeling very proud that governor had chosen him as the person who was supposed to accompany McLeary. That means governor thought he was trustworthy, he was worth to be given the work. That's why. Understood? At 11:25 a.m., the governor was sitting in his office, constantly listening to the receiver, whatever was coming from the receiver. At 11:25, once again the receiver started working. And what the governor heard? The governor heard that McLeary was instructing Evans to stop writing, and then he instructed him to put his sheets in order and see that they are correctly numbered and submit them. After that, some sounds of pulling of chairs and desks was heard, and then the governor heard that the door was unlocked. McLeary went outside and everything was done. McLeary asked, the governor also heard that McLeary was asking Evans how his exam was, how was the exam, and Evans said neither too bad, not too bad. Now McLeary had come out of the cell. Evans was accompanying him. Stephens was accompanying him. Evans was inside the cell. Okay. Stephens was accompanying McLeary to the main gate of Oxford prison. And while going with McLeary, Stephens asked McLeary, what does he think? Did Evans really did well in the exam? McLeary said that he has no such idea. Maybe he did well. And as Stephens was talking with McLeary and was looking at him, all of a sudden he felt as if McLeary was looking a bit slim. Understood? In the morning when the man went in, he did not appear to be so slim. Now he was appearing slimmer. But only 2 hours had passed. So Stephens thought, how is it possible? How is it possible that a person who was not looking slim 2 hours ago, all of a sudden appeared to be slim 2 hours later? So he thought maybe that's an illusion of his eyes. Maybe there was some problem with his look. So he did not give it much importance. Okay? And he bade McLeary goodbye, and McLeary left Oxford prison. Alright? Now Stephens had been watching Evans since 2 hours when the exam was going on. He hadn't left the place for a single moment. He was thirsty to have a cup of coffee. So he thought he should go to the cafeteria of Oxford prison and have a cup of coffee. But before that, Stephens thought that he should once again go back to the cell of Evans and make sure that Evans was still there inside the cell, though he had seen him with his own eyes present inside the cell. Still he wanted to make sure. So he went back. He went back to D wing, and he opened the door, and what he saw was just very, very surprising for him and completely unexpected by him. He had thought that he will find Evans over there, but what he saw was beyond his imagination, and how it happened, there was no time for him to think, so he was simply taken aback. Alright student, this much only in part 6.